Am I wrong for not paying for the wedding despite promising that I will? One of my sons, Kai 21 male, is gay. He's not officially out, but everybody knows he's gay because it really is so obvious. He also has a boyfriend that he claims is just a friend, but we all know the truth. Last night, all the kids were visiting, so we decided to order food, and my daughter 17 was responsible for ordering food for everyone. I guess she thought it'd be funny to order burgers for everybody, but order a hot dog for Kai. She told him, "I thought you'd like this better," teasing him just like siblings do. Well, one of my other sons has a fiance, Nora 29, and after my daughter said that to Kai, Nora made a face as if she was disgusted. Like super grossed out by the thought of my son being gay, and told my daughter, "Don't joke about that, it's not funny." And mind you, this is not the first time that Nora's made a similar comment about Kai. She's very religious and a firm believer that Kai is actually straight. Am I wrong for not paying for the wedding despite promising that I will? After my daughter said that to Kai, Nora made a face as if she was disgusted by the thought of my son being gay and told my daughter, "Don't make that joke." This isn't the first time that Nora said something like this about Kai. She's a firm believer that Kai is straight. And for more context, she's super religious, so I don't think I need to explain how she feels about gay people. Here is why I might be wrong. Years ago, I promised my son, Nora's fiance, that I will pay for their wedding, but I don't want to do it. I have a gay son, and I don't want someone who's against it to be a part of our family, so I told them I've changed my mind and won't be paying. As a matter of fact, if she ever says something that slightly offends Kai, I won't even attend their wedding. And now they're upset and think that I'm totally overreacting. Top comment says, "You're all wrong except Kai. You for it's so obvious, your 17-year-old daughter for the hot dog, and Nora for being, well, Nora." Am I wrong for refusing to attend my in-laws' Christmas unless sister-in-law removes the stocking that has a different name than the one I chose for my unborn son? I, female, have been with my husband Todd for 3 years, and he has a son 9 from his late wife. Todd is pretty close to his sister Monica. Their mom's deceased and Monica has basically taken over. She's nice to me and all, but seems to be a bit controlling, especially when it comes to Todd. But that wasn't a real issue until after I got pregnant. When we found out the gender of the baby boy, she insisted on the name Tommy, but I refused because I already had a name in mind. And Todd also loves it, but he chose to stay out of the fight, saying maybe we should just let Monica call him Tommy. I refused and asked her to please respect me and the fact that I'm the mother, and she said okay. Like always, she's hosting Christmas for the family this year and invited me and Todd to Christmas dinner. I was intending on coming until I discovered she hung stockings with her kids, nephews, and nieces' names and hung a Tommy stocking saying that's for my son. I completely lost it and there was a huge fight, and I told her I wouldn't come unless it's removed. Am I wrong for refusing to attend my in-laws' Christmas unless my sister-in-law removes the stocking? I told her I will not be coming to Christmas dinner if she doesn't remove the stocking or put his real name, and then left. But my husband got mad, accusing me of trying to ruin an important family tradition by refusing to come. He also said I'm overreacting and cannot be telling his sister what she should or shouldn't do in her own home. He tried to convince me, but I said no, not until she removes the stocking, and it doesn't look like she's going to do so. Now he's mad at me for making a big deal out of it. Her husband, Philip, that's usually nice to me, called yesterday saying he spoke with Todd and he'd be devastated if I caused the family to miss the event at Monica's house. Not only ruining it for the adults, but also for the kids as well. Todd has been quiet, and the only way we communicate is through Philip. I feel ashamed. Maybe I did overreact. And an additional comment says, "I did not ask Monica to put a stocking for my son. It was her decision."
My wife left me for another man. After he got her pregnant, he left her. 9 months later, she showed up at my door. So my wife and I were married for 6 years and together for 9 when she left me. We were high school sweethearts, and I thought that we had an amazing relationship. We were one of those couples that everyone was jealous of. I was head over heels for her, and I thought that she was for me too. We had always talked about having a family, and for the first 3 years of our marriage, we were actively trying. However, we found out that I was infertile, and we were devastated. It sent my wife into a depression, and for a while, I thought our marriage was going to fail. However, we eventually came to the decision that we would try to save up for IVF, and if that didn't work, we would look into other options. So we spent the next 2 years saving up every penny we could. It was hard, but we both really wanted children. I thought we were doing really well, and I thought that our marriage was stronger than ever. We finally had enough money to undergo the procedure, and we were just about to make the appointment when my wife told me that she was having second thoughts. She said that she was worried that she would not be able to love a non-biological child as much as a biological one. I told her that I could understand her concerns, but that I thought we should try anyways. She said that she needed time to think about it. A few weeks later, she told me she made up her mind, that she did not want to go through with the IVF. I was very disappointed, but I told her that I loved her and that I would support her in whatever she wanted to do. I told her that we could look into other options. However, she said that she actually made up her mind about something else. She said that she had been seeing someone for a few months and that she was in love with him. She said that she was moving in with him. I was completely blindsided. There had been no signs of this at all. I begged her to reconsider, but she said that her mind was made up. She left, and that was the last time I ever saw her. I was a complete wreck for a long time. I had no idea that anything was wrong with our marriage, and I had no idea that she was seeing someone else. I was in a dark place and I thought about ending things. I was able to work through my feelings and get to a better place. I was able to move on and eventually started dating again. However, I still thought about my ex-wife from time to time, and I always wondered what had happened to her. I had no way of contacting her, as she had changed her phone number and all of her social media accounts. So I was completely shocked when, 3 years after she left me, she showed up at my door. At first, I thought she was there to apologize for what she had done to me, but then I saw that she was holding a baby. She said that she needed to talk to me. She had a baby from him, and he dumped her after she gave birth. She's begging me to take her back, but I don't know what to do. Am I in the wrong for telling my friend that if she couldn't keep up because of her disability, she just shouldn't come? I, 26 female, have had a pretty close group of friends. We have this one girl in our group, Sadie, 27 female. She has a disability that is mostly manageable through medication. Despite this, Sadie has a bad habit of forgetting to take her pills right before we do something that she isn't interested in doing. This time, it was on a friend group trip we've been planning for over a year. We each decided to take a day and plan an activity that the whole group would participate in. We also rented a van together to get to our destination, as that was the most ideal situation. The first issue with Sadie came up when we were getting to our destination. Due to the length of the drive, everyone was going to be driving for an hour to get there. Right before it was Sadie's turn, she had a flare-up and couldn't drive. Our friend took over. The next morning, my friend had planned a tour of the town. We all reminded Sadie several times to take her medication, as this was an expensive tour and we did not want it to be cut short. Well, she had forgotten and the tour had to be cut short. This is when I got genuinely upset because now my money was being wasted. Throughout the week, she had flare-ups pretty often. The actual fight that led to this post occurred on my day though. The previous day, Sadie had no flare-ups. It was also her day to plan. This was because she had set alarms to take her medication regularly so that she would be okay. We all reminded her to please take her pills like that again. I decided to take all my friends on a trail ride on horses, as the trails in this town are known for being exceptionally beautiful. We paid extra for the basic lesson prior to the trail. In the basics lesson, we were all paired off based on our experience and performance in the small arena that they had. I was paired with Sadie. Well, 1/4 of the way through the trail, she started having a flare-up. I told her that I wouldn't be turning around as this was expensive and I was truly looking forward to this. She begged me to turn around. Finally, the ranger told us that I had to turn around as she was my partner. In the car, I told her that she knew how important this was to me and that she should have just taken her pills. She told me that I was being ableist and that I didn't know what the pills did to her. We got into a huge argument in which I said, if your disability can't take being a good friend, then maybe you shouldn't come on these trips anyway. While I agreed that this was pretty harsh, I didn't think I was in the wrong considering that she had cost us so much money over the years for simply not wanting to do something. My other friends agree that Sadie is inconvenient at times, but I should have been more sensitive to her condition. I'm honestly torn on whether to apologize or not. Am I in the wrong for not doing anything to prevent my female 35 husband, male 35, from cheating with his work wifey, female 25? So I met work wifey last Thursday at a Christmas party. She introduced herself as work wifey and she called my husband work hubby and told that to everyone. When she saw me, she just exclaimed, "Oh, we're like two totally different people. How weird is that?" Not weird at all. We don't know each other. No, I mean like because X and I get along so well, like we totally get each other and have a lot in common, like totally. That's why he's like my work hubby. I didn't know what a manic pixie dream girl was, but apparently she was one and apparently it was something to brag about. I just found the whole thing very amusing, but on our way home, it wasn't very amusing anymore. I felt a little bit of an ick watching my husband's profile, wondering what was going on in his head. He has told me about his new colleague that he got along with. He told me that she was great at her job and that she was a gamer like him. I don't even know how to hold a joystick properly. I know that they text a lot too, even on weekends. I never thought about that before now. I found myself sat on the toilet seat at 3:30 in the morning, scrolling through his phone in total silence not to wake him up. She's very youthful and quirky. Her words, not mine. She's very funny too. Again, her words, not mine. She calls him hubs and hubby in every text. And in one text, she warned him that men fall easily for her and that she just wanted to give him a heads up. I guess it's because she's a youthful, quirky, funny, maniac, pixie dream gamer girl. Her last text was from the same evening that we left. She wrote that she was pissed that he didn't say goodbye before leaving, and I was a bit surprising to her because she didn't expect him to have this type. OMG, your wife is so boring, I didn't expect that. I felt ashamed when I came to my senses, cowering over his phone and reading very weird juvenile messages instead of being sound asleep beside my husband that makes me safe in our relationship, but I couldn't help but agree with manic wifey in some parts. Why is he continually engaging with her? He doesn't flirt back nor does he initiate conversations, but he just doesn't really shut her down. My husband can be stupid and not noticing flirting, but I feel that this is just beyond stupid. Does he enjoy the attention or worse? Does he reciprocate it? In that case, she's not wrong. What is he doing with someone like me who's totally different from whatever is going on between them? Today, I had my usual brunch with my mom, aunt, sister, and sister-in-law. They said I was an a-hole for not nipping it in the bud, and by it they mean the budding affair. I disagreed and tried to explain that I couldn't be in a relationship where I needed to stand guard to keep away my temptations. I want a marriage where he's with me because he wants to be with me, and if he cheats, then he doesn't want to be with me. My mother was the one who got the most upset and called me a moron and said I'm an a-hole and said that this wasn't the mature thing to do. I need to tell my husband to end his friendship because if I didn't, then I let him cheat. So am I in the wrong?